everybody? It's the Bulls Show, aka Aidan, and welcome back to another video. Today we've got a Chicago Bulls and Philadelphia 76ers game reaction. The Chicago Bulls have faced their last two opponents was Philadelphia 76ers, and we walked away with losses both times, and this one kind of hurts me personally a little bit more than the last one, but we'll be talking about everything in this video. Before we get started, please like and subscribe to the Bulls Show, turn notifications on, and let me know in the comments below your thoughts about who was your player of the game and just your overall thoughts on the game today against Philadelphia. The score for this game was 114 to 105. As always, you have to give credit to the Chicago Bulls fighting back when they were down by a significant amount, but nevertheless, we cannot make our living off of coming back from games. We need to be the team to set the standard, to set the dominance of the game, the way the game is dictated, and we didn't see that enough throughout the course of the week and also throughout this game specifically against Philadelphia. We came out and we actually didn't have a terrible start to the game. One of the things that was always been mentioned is that we had bad starts to games. We ended up falling out, I believe, by 1 point in the first quarter, which is far from terrible to say the least. But the second and third quarters hit us hard, ladies and gentlemen. Our defensive energy dropped to an all-time low, and we just ended up giving up so many open shots, and they made us pay, and those second and third quarters hurt the Bulls big time. And yes, we came back. Yes, I think at one point we took the lead in the fourth quarter and we had the opportunity to win the game. But when you're giving up those terrible quarters in the middle of the game, you are going to pay for it at the end of the game. That is the biggest takeaway, in my opinion, from the Chicago Bulls. Despite us not having a bad turnover night, despite us coming back in this game, despite seeing Zach LaVine play well and had his better game in ages, despite all of the positives you could take away from this game, you hurt us more, or the Bulls hurt themselves more when they give up or they question their energy, or they become a little bit lazy, lackadaisical, or just unaware, or sleep mode, as many people like to call it, when you're giving up easy shots like that and you're giving up points to Philadelphia. Also, their bench hurt us big time as well, and that's the credit to Philadelphia. I can guarantee you, as Chicago Bulls fans, many people would have looked at this game as an opportunity to win, and we should look at every game like that. Obviously, we're a good team. We want to win every game, but Philadelphia knows how to get their players involved. We are not a team at the moment that are getting many of our players involved, and you see with their bench how badly they hurt us. One player alone on that bench ended up hurting us big time. So yeah, it's a difficult one to swallow, this one, because the second and third quarters were really bad, and the bench scoring for the Philadelphia 76ers hurt us a lot. And of course, Joel Embiid had a much better game than he did against in Philadelphia, which is expected. He's an all-star. He's a great center. You have to give props to Joel Embiid. That punch on Lonzo, let's get into that quickly. I instantly thought flagrant one. I understand he didn't hit him, but I guess the thought of that is, what if he did hit him? And it kind of did connect to his hair, obviously, but luckily Lonzo dodged that. I didn't think ejection. I think many people were trying to say that he should have got ejected. I definitely disagree with an ejection, because at the end of the day, it wasn't intentional. It wasn't on purpose, and he did slightly miss. So yeah, it is what it is. I'm not going to go too much into that nonsense and all of that. Whatever happened. The rest made the call. They had so long to decide, and I guess that's the decision, and we have to live with that. But yeah, just so many disappointing things that you saw from this game. I think this is actually the worst loss of our season. And I'm not going to be too negative, because again, we still have a very good record. We still are a team that has a lot of upside, a lot of potential. And when we see our team fully develop into what they can be, that's when we get to make those judgments. But yeah, this loss was tough for me. This was a frustrating game to watch, more than the Philadelphia game in Philadelphia. This was definitely a worse one, in my opinion, to watch. But we did come back. We did do well. And let's talk about the individual performances, ladies and gentlemen. Start off with Zach LaVine. 32 points, 9 rebounds, and 3 assists for Zach LaVine. He ended up being the one to kind of carry us over the line at many times when we needed that scoring punch. He was there. He got to the free throw line as well. He helped in the second half tremendously. But yeah, that's just the type of game that we expect from Zach LaVine. When he's not exactly feeling it playmaking wise, we know he can score, and he needed to score today, and he ended up doing that very well. And all credit goes to him in relation to that. One thing I have to say across the whole board as well, our assist numbers were very low compared to previous games. And again, isolation play is a big problem for this team at the moment, and it looks like the assist numbers are really hurting from that. We like to be a fast ball movement team, fast oriented ball movement, and we just didn't see that overall. So yeah, tough pill to swallow there, but we move on. We have to keep pushing forward. Lonzo Ball had 8 points, 5 rebounds, 5 assists, and 1 steal. The same issues with Lonzo Ball is the same issues with Lonzo Ball, and we need to see him more aggressive. We need to see the ball given to him in the fourth quarter. And in the third quarter as well, in the entire second half. He had a great first half. I thought his first half was amazing. I was hyped when I was watching Lonzo Ball, him making threes, him going and giving alley-oops to Zach LaVine. Fantastic alley-oop assist for Lonzo Ball. But in general, why can't we see him perform like this in the third and the fourth? Is it a Lonzo Ball issue? Is it a team issue? I don't really know. But when we see Lonzo Ball play at a high level for all 4 quarters, this team could be dangerous. We just haven't seen it. And that's a consistent theme that we've seen with Lonzo Ball. We are starting to see a lot of consistent themes, and hopefully these themes can get rectified over time. But Lonzo Ball not participating as much in the third and fourth quarters is a big issue, and that's something we need to hopefully resolve. Nikola Vucevic had 11 points, 11 rebounds, and 2 assists. Is this the best game from Nikola Vucevic? No. Is this the worst game from Nikola Vucevic? No. Was this a decent game for Nikola Vucevic? I actually thought this game was not his best game whatsoever. It wasn't a terrible game in terms of, he was participating. It was much better than his last game. But just, again, he's not making his shots. And I think we need to try and steer him away from the three-point line a little bit more. I think he's taking way too many threes. And I think if you want to be a center that shoots threes, you need to get some easy ones in the paint first. You saw with Joel Embiid, he got a couple of post shots as his first couple of points before he started making those step-back threes, step-back mid-ranges. He got some easy ones in the paint first. That's how you get yourself going. We didn't see that from Vucevic. They tried to get him open a little bit. He got a wide-open dunk and whatnot, but he just hasn't got himself going. And the coaching staff needs to find a way to get him going. It's as simple as that. If he can't get himself going, we are in danger, because he is someone that he has a lot of shots on this team. A lot of shots. It took him a lot of shots to get to 11 points. So if he's able to fix his efficiency, he could get 20 and 10 every night. He could get 25 points. It's efficiency that's the issue with Nikola Vucevic. It's not the shot selection. It's not the fact that he's not taking the right shots at the right time. It's just that he's not making the shots. That's the frustrating part, and that's the part that we can end up being flipped on a dime, and he starts making the shots and we start winning a lot more of these games, and maybe we are the one that dictate the game more than what other teams are doing to us. DeMar DeRozan had 25 points, 4 rebounds, 4 assists, and 2 steals. DeMar was pretty solid today. Again, he moved the ball a lot better. Efficiency-wise, it wasn't as good as previous games, and I think he understood that he wasn't going to be able to take the shots that he liked as often today, which, again, he got 25 points. So maybe you could disagree with me on that. But after he missed a shot, and if he ended up getting his own rebound, we had a lot of second-chance opportunities today. If he got his own rebound, then he got a little bit of space. He did try to make the right pass at times, and that really helped his team as well. We need to try and steer away from isolation every play. I understand DeMar's a great isolation player. Zach LaVine's a great isolation player. But we need to focus more on team-oriented basketball than just isolation. We need to keep working on that. Isolation can help if we need a bailout bucket. If we're a 10-0 run down, we can have DeMar DeRozan take a shot, get to the foul line, end that run. Isolation's good in those areas. You cannot discredit isolation from the game whatsoever. But we need to focus more as a team play. More team-oriented basketball, and we will get things going for this team. We just need to give it time, and hopefully we can see a better progression in the way that we play as a team. Javonte Green, 2 points, 3 rebounds, 2 steals. You have to treat him as the starting power forward, ladies and gentlemen, because that's exactly what he is. He played 18 minutes and had 2 points, 3 rebounds, 2 steals. That is a Patrick Williams level of performance if I've ever seen one. And many people want to criticize Patrick Williams. I think you have to give that fair, same, and equal opportunity to Javonte Green. He's definitely someone that works very hard. The first couple minutes of the game, he was finding Joel Embiid for offensive rebounds. And he missed a couple of gimmies today as well. But you have to be fair. If you're going to judge Patrick Williams the same way, you got to judge Javonte Green the same way. He is the starting power forward. So at the end of the day, this was not a great game for him whatsoever. And I want to see him improve. The 2 steals are great, by the way. That's a really good positive. But we need to see him more on the scoring sheet if he wants to be a starting power forward for this team. Simple as that. That's all I can really say. Let's talk about the bench now, ladies and gentlemen. Alex Caruso, 9 points, 3 rebounds, 4 assists, 1 steal, and just 1 steal. Anyway, with Alex Caruso, it's a pretty good night overall, consistent once again. Foul trouble was a big issue in the entirety of the game. You saw that with Io, Alex Caruso giving away cheap fouls as well. I don't think the referees helped their cause in this game. There were a lot of ticky-tack fouls, soft fouls that was given today. And I guess that's just the way that the game was played today. That's not something I want to see overall in future games. I'd like to see us, even Philly and the Bulls, I'd like to see us go at it a little bit more and not get bowed out with some cheap calls. Nevertheless, Alex Caruso, a consistent night once again, but we need more on the bench. We need more bench scoring, and our bench scoring was better today. Overall, with Derrick Jones Jr. as well with 12 points, 4 rebounds, and 1 block, I really thought Derrick Jones Jr. should have finished the 4th quarter. We saw Alex Caruso come in. I think Billy Donovan needs to be less afraid to switch things up in the clutch, switch things up in the 4th quarter. You don't always need to go for Zach, Lonzo, Caruso, DeRozan, and Vucevic. You don't need to go for that lineup every single time. When you see someone that has the momentum that Derrick Jones Jr. is having, someone that's made the impact, has climbed us into that game, almost single-handedly, he built us back into this game with some good opportunities to get to the line. He didn't miss a free throw, or at least I don't think he did, and he just helped us carry us back in the game. I would like to see Billy Donovan be less afraid to switch it up. He should have finished the 4th quarter. I understand Alex Caruso is a great player, but I just don't feel like that was the right choice. I don't feel like bringing Alex Caruso in to finish the game was the right choice. I think Derrick Jones Jr. deserved an opportunity to close out the game, or at least try and continue to push on that lead. And as soon as he made one hell of an impact, as soon as I think it was an alley-oop or something, then he's off. We don't see him again. He did his job, but I just feel like his job could have been a little bit more on this team. Tony Bradley, 4 points, 7 rebounds, 1 assist. Really good rebounding night from Tony Bradley once again, and he did end up getting a few good shots, opportunities in the paint. And that's all I could really say. That's the type of player that he is. He's someone that's going to affect the paint. He's going to get rebounds. He's going to try and not necessarily block shot, but try to make it a difficult shot. It was a decent game from Tony Bradley. Io had 2 points, 1 assist, 1 steal. Not the best game from Io, to say the least. I think we can all agree on that statement. Foul trouble really hurt him today. And yeah, that's all I could really say in relation to Io. He's a rookie. There's not too much more to go into it. Rookies will have up games. Rookies will have down games. You just got to move on and hope that he improves in the next one. Simple as that. We just got to move on, and that's what rookies are at the end of the day. Young players will always make mistakes. It's just the way that it is. Now let's go into the must improve. There are 2 players you could put in this one, but I feel like I have to once again put Nikola Vucevic in this category just for his very poor efficiency night once again. I don't mind when he gets a 10 and 10 double-double. I really, really don't. But the problem is, it's the efficiency that makes him get to that double-double. At the end of the day, if he was shooting maybe 55% from the field, let's say, and he got 11 points, I'd be saying he needs to shoot more. Because at the end of the day, that's what efficiency is. If he's making more shots than he's missing, we want to see him shoot more. He took a lot of shots today, a lot of threes, and it didn't end up working well in his favor, and hence he only got 11 points today on poor efficiency. I want to see him use the post a little bit more. I want to see him take the mid-ranges a little bit more. I think the three-point shot, I think he needs to try and stay away from that as the main source of his shots. He needs to make sure that the post game and the mid-range, where he can do his damage at his high highest level is what he's focusing on. And if he can do that, then that's going to be a positive sign for him in future games. I still have optimism. I'm still optimistic he can turn things around. But every game that goes by, it becomes a little bit more disappointing when you look at Nikola Vucevic. So hopefully things change in meantime. And the player of the game has to be Zach LaVine. When you drop 32 and 9 with 3 assists, it's hard to avoid him as player of the game. I want to give a huge shout out to Derrick Jones Jr. on his fantastic game as well. And he's someone that really helped us in that fourth quarter. But Zach LaVine was pretty consistent, shot 46% from the field, I believe, which is not bad. But yeah, it's a good night for Zach LaVine, and I think he deserves the player of the game. The Bulls record is 6-3. I did make a mistake in the last video and I said we had a 7-game, we won 7 games. My mistake. It is 6-3. That is our record. It's unfortunate, but we did lose 2 off the bounce. Now it's going to happen. We cannot expect this team to beat every single team that we face, and Philly just ends up getting the better of us 2 times in a row. We will verse them 2 more times, I believe, so get ready and hopefully we can bounce back against them, and let's see how this goes. The next game is going to be against the Brooklyn Nets. We turn from one tough challenge to another tough challenge. Now the Chicago Bulls losing 3 in a row, it's going to be hard to swallow if we do lose 3 in a row. So at the end of the day, I'm expecting us to come in with a fire under our belly, and hopefully we can have that momentum to start the game well and just to manage the game well. That's something else Philly did very well that I didn't mention. They managed the game well. Anytime we went on runs, they ended up going on runs of their own. They managed the game very, very well, which is why they were able to close it out at the end. So there you go, ladies and gentlemen. That's the game reaction for Philadelphia today. We just got to keep on moving. I don't want to think too much about this stint of games. These 2 games are tough ones to swallow, especially the game tonight. But we have more challenges ahead. We have tougher games. We cannot dwell on these 2 losses. We have to keep moving forward. We have to keep focused on the task at hand. We have a really tough schedule going forward as well. We have to keep focused, and let's hope we can get a victory against the Brooklyn Nets. Thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe if you're new. Hopefully you enjoyed the video, ladies and gentlemen, and we'll just see how we go in the next one. We do have some positives and negatives as always, and we are starting to see trends in this team. But again, I still have faith that we will be a good team at the end of this, and I still have faith that we can beat good teams at any given time. So let's hope we can do that against Brooklyn. Take care.